can't stop. Welcome, welcome everyone. Hello, hello, and welcome back, chat. Welcome back to the usual coach. Will we continue our pursuit? Is my phone upside down? Let me make sure actually we're live. The phone's being weird. Okay. What's that? No, not now. Do that later. Don't really need that because I'm afraid it's gonna mess with my Facebook Messenger side because they're both always want to be made primary. So let's see. Sorry if my nose is a little bad today. My sinuses are kicked in pretty hard. Let's see. Is there no important things that I didn't miss or something? No, not at the moment. Alright, good. I think we're good. Let me check YouTube. Uh-oh. Are we restarting chat? I'm not really sure. No, wait. It's live. Cool. Weird. It's being weird. I have a feeling, though. A distinct feeling. That maybe notifications didn't go out, though. 'Cause I did not get one. And I have it where I can kind of get them so I know when we're live, but anyways, welcome everyone. 1 second as I check the settings real quick. I want to give a chance for everyone to join up, as always, before we start our mission to save the gods from their own rivals, and the war of the gods is always going on. It's like when you ask yourself, why are we getting involved in this, humans? They're just gonna keep doing this. But right now our focus is to stop Set from taking the sands from Osiris. We've got to gather all of his pieces together. I can't remember if we're on 2 or 3 right now. I'm not really sure. I know we're not far away from already getting towards the mid to end part of Egypt with its campaign part of this storyline. And then we'll be moving into Norse. I think Norse are in the base game as well for the main campaign. I think you play them at least once as well for a little while. I just can't remember where and when it kicks in and when you switch over to them. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Either way, so far we've done pretty good with Egypt, and we probably blew through it way faster than we did with Greece. And part of that is I just know how to play the game better now. So, I've learned to be more efficient with units and knowing some of the more shortcuts. Some of the shortcuts at least. There actually are quite a few, but it's a lot of it almost. I guess I can harken it to the way they did the shortcuts is similar in some ways to Farming Sim, how they have 2 buttons. You got to hold one button to access a different set of sub menus for that same set of buttons that is normally something else. It's a little confusing, but that's kind of how it works. So you have to figure out what button is required to hit first before you can go. It's not that bad because it's never more than 2. I think I've seen 3 the most. There's like some of the sub menus are 3 buttons. It goes boom, boom, boom. But very few. Majority of it, the largest 2 presses you're gonna amount of presses you're gonna make is 2. So it's not too inconvenient with that aspect. It's just knowing what button is the parent button you got to press first to get that menu you need. So it's still those are still the menus I'm still trying to figure out in this game. As we go on through the story, it'll get better and better as we do it more and more. So, but all right. All right. As I check some things, I'll be right back, chat. I'm gonna check on some things real quick in the house and settings wise. And then we're going to get it going around, I'm going to say 8 minutes to 10 minutes. That way it gives everyone ample time to have a chance to join up for the beginning, especially since notifications might not have went out. So I will be back, chat. welcome, Fazio. YouTube sent it out late. 10 minutes late, but still late. That's alright, I try. At least that is why I usually give around 10 minutes. I wonder if that seems to be the limit the server finally figures out what's happening. That's the only thing I can assume. Welcome. I usually give it about 10 minutes. I'll sit there checking some things and just chilling for a second. Always like to give a chance for everyone to join in, so welcome. Oh, so 10 minutes. Okay. So, depending on if we can get started early enough, that means the sweet spot's probably 15. Wait about 15 minutes, give everyone a chance to join up. That's 5 minutes over when it would probably send. 20 minutes would be guaranteed, but that's only if we'd be on like long stream days, where I'd probably have a 20-minute pre set up. If I had a way on PlayStation to do like a background or play some just non-copyrighted random game music or something, or game like music or something, then I would do that. I could technically do this on OBS. I haven't really looked up how to do it because I don't technically stream on the PC other than Total War, which is a co-op live stream, so there's not really much time to do for that. Because we do all of our pre-set up off camera before we even start up and get everything ready, so I haven't had a reason to really like create one of those types of things, which I might hear in like sometime this year if I can, because I am very interested in doing that eventually. Just because if we ever get to the point where we just want to do become somewhat of a chill channel for a while, if we don't have any games to really do in the background, there'll always be at least something, one or two. Especially for this year, we got a couple good ones coming up, and one of them we're gonna beat its predecessor, before it comes out. The others we're just gonna play as soon as they hit, we're diving in. But those are gonna be the main ones this year, and we'll have some, of course, co-ops and stuff with Mad Lad James, Darius, Tam King, Lumido, stuff like that. But right now, Age of Mythology must yield our attention. Let's see what Farser said. Also, what did Asian do to determine things? I don't know. I haven't been there. What do you mean? You're supposed to tell me this. I haven't played in. How long has it been actually now? I don't think I've ever thought about that. How long has it actually been now since I've been on War Thunder? Uh, it's been over a year, that's for sure. I'm just not sure how many. What's happening? I've been losing with German teammates. Huh? It'll a lot more often. This is what it might more likely be. Maybe the German Dock depression has kicked in. Maybe the players have just given up. They just don't care, so they just don't try. Is what I'm assuming now. Or maybe a lot of the German. Here's what I was also gonna say. Probably has happened. Could be more likely as well. Maybe the main hardcore German player base is left. Can you blame them? It's like World War II is not really. I don't really care anymore what happens to the Tiger and all that. The Panther is a thing, and I realize the Panther's just better anyways. But my issue is their modern part is just terrible. They have some decent ones, but for the Leopard and stuff, but it's like Sweden has the better one. So my brain's like, oh. It's just because I don't think there's just enough to want to keep that player base for that country to stick around is the issue. I really can't say anything about to do about it. I mean, there's not really much to do other than if they decide to just add more variety or about maybe add different types of ways to make the Leopard better or different German variants of it, or maybe other German modern vehicles that are better that help back it up and stuff like that. I don't know. As far as World War II is concerned, though, as much as I want the Tiger to be on a lower tier than what it is now sitting at, I, it's a double-edged sword because I slightly, even though the Panther is better anyways, um, if you once you learn how to use it, it is 1,000% better. But the only thing is, it's just not rocking as quite a good a gun. That's what really all the Tiger is. It's just the heavy hitter. It's a guy who could just go. But at the tier that it technically fights at, it's also fighting. Hmm, do I see an IS over there? Which absolutely stomping it into the absolute out of existence, into the void, eaten by the World Eater Galactic. It's terrible, and we're not going to talk about the American side. We're just not. But it just gets hilarious. But anyways, that's the World War II side. It is what it is. Just play a Panther at this point. It'll be much safer and more enjoyable for the players at that tier. Early Germans though still are king. Like if you play in the beginning Germans of World War II before you get towards Tiger, the first Tigers, where you're gonna start almost fixing to have your first Panther. Also, tip for new German players: make sure that Panther is almost ready to go before you get your Tiger, because you're probably gonna need it, or you're gonna get shot in an unlucky situation when you get up tiered. You're gonna get absolutely wrecked and have nothing to fight with after that. Trust me. I've learned from experience. Because it does feel like they've kind of reduced them back to at least the World War II side, kind of what felt like in midlife of War Thunder back in the day. I'm just going off of pure instinct and what I remember at this point. Um, these are like the things that you could do, but otherwise, those are the tips that make it more enjoyable for that tier. But the early tier is always going to be amazing. You raffle stomp most things in the early tiers when it's just Panzer fours, Panzer threes, all that. That stuff is hilarious. But it's like, I see you, T-34 there, and I raise you a Panzer 4H. And I'm just gonna make you really hate your T-34. But after that, it goes, whoops, the tables have been turned. And then it goes to this unusual even Stevens ground and modern that's good enough, but not as exciting or apt as like some of the other countries are at modern, right? So it's like, I mean, once again, Sweden has another better version of the leopard, the Strav, wasn't it? The one, I forget what number it is. But, you know, it's like, it's like, oops. Is it? They just pushed us in a. They just pushed US in a brawl. I don't know. They buffed the Sherman stabilizer to work 22 kilometers, and those bastards are taking full. To be fair, that's good. No, I accept that because I don't like bullying a Sherman. That's something even as a Panzer I did not agree with. Because I'm like, no. I'm like, no. This thing should have had a chance to kill me if I didn't get to shoot first. Now, here's the thing that with a, you just have to know what its trick is. It's got one of the most major weaknesses if you're going to deal with it in the front and where you need to shoot it, that you will guarantee killing it if you shoot first. But most definitely, if a Sherman shot my Panzer, it should kill it. Especially if it shot it. Once again, it comes into skill play and where you're shooting, anyways. But let's say they knew what they're doing. Yeah, that tank should kill me. If it gets a good beat on me and gets a really nasty shot, and I haven't angled properly, or maybe I didn't think about it, or maybe he just got he went for the more less guaranteed. But if it does happen, it's gonna kill me. Because those are more, if you're in a riskier situation, those are better players. You can tell how long I played War Thunder because, see, I haven't played this in how many years now? And yet, I remember all of this by instinct. Sometimes you play a game too much. Battle Operations is the same way. Mech Warrior's like that too, though, to be fair. It's a few things like that in my instincts. Doom is like that, but in a different way. That's a muscle instinct. Once it wakes up, it goes, hello! Bow, bow, bow. But as far as like memory instinct, that's what a lot of that is. But yeah, T-34s are suffering the most from that. That's true too. Oh, yeah, I don't envy T-34s in that rank now because that means now the Shermans are going to bully them too. And there are random ways, since it's not historically accurate, some of the lobbies with the way they play it lately, you could kind of force it, but you'll take way longer to get matches in War Thunder. So everybody kind of ended up just accepting mixed lobbies at some point just so they can play faster. That's kind of ended up just being a community culture thing that happened on the servers. Because at the beginning, you could get quite a few matches, reasonable time, if you wanted to play historical, where Germany would never be with like US or something, right? Right? It would always US would always be helping Russia in that timeline against the Germans. So, but if you want to do that today, that's unless you want crossplay with PC, that's going to take you probably more than 10 minutes to find it a good match. But if you're playing mixed, yeah, that's definitely going to be a thing you're going to have to deal with. So that does make Russia a nightmare fuel at that tier now if you're playing mixed, because you have a chance that if U.S. and Germany, since this is not about historic anymore, end up on the same team in that battle against you. Dear God, that's gonna be such a terrible, terrible time. You're gonna have to play so many corner battles because the T-34 is fast, right? So what you'd have to play into your situation is since y'all have such good reverse speed, unlike us, you would be able to fight on corners better and get shots around and do like the call. You'd have to do the Call of Duty method, is what we should call it. It'd be the only way to easily get shots. You have to rely on your heavies, like badly, like the KV2s and all that. They'd become detrimental to that situation because they'd be the only thing that could technically take the shots from some of these tanks. Now, it doesn't mean the Sherman can't kill it, especially if you know where to shoot it. But or the Panzer in my case when I was playing Panzer IV at that time, even though I played US as well, I technically played both. US is not quite as far, but they're catching up. Back when I left the game, part of me thought if I go back, I am not touching Germany, and for the exclusive reason is, and this is I won't be spending money on that game, but if I ever play it for just for the nostalgia, even if it's I lose and die a shit ton because I just haven't played, and the muscle instinct would have to remember. Okay, this is where I turn. This is where I've got to have my gun for this tank, and da 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 to pre-set up for situations. Because there's a lot of like tactics actually do go into War Thunder. But so I get bopped quite often. But um, I'd probably just play America at that point, but I would go back and play what I was still missing because there was a bunch of tanks that were not caught up that I remember correctly, that were not up there where closer to where my Abrams and all that is. So I'm like, eh. So they got kind of ignored after I got to a certain point in Germany, and that's when they ended up. That's why Germany ended up being modernized first. Even though I did pay for one tank, I did pay for my Leopard A1A1. That is a premium tank. But it's only, and then the only other premium tank I've had is once again its other faction that I actually played in that game was America, uh, which because I wanted the Abrams and I love the Abrams. I got me in the X1, the experimental Abrams, the old one, old one, and I was trying to get my tanks. That's what it was. It That's what it is. Germany has more tanks that are caught up to my Leopard A1A1 because I also have another Leopard 1, and I think I'm working on a Leopard 2 or already unlocked. I can't remember if I managed to unlock it yet. And it's something, and I was working on something else on the Germans, but America got kind of sadly ignored for a while, which is who I would go back and play. Get my Sherman caught up to where it should be. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, because they got landlocked. Because I ignored them, I never pushed them to the 76 like I should have. That's why I had such a rough time in the beginning. Although hearing that they fixed the stabilizer thing, that actually means I might have a less terrible time, even a non-76. Because that was their thing. They were really accurate. It was kind of the reason why they did so good at, like, what I would call, like, dogfighting tactics on the ground, where they would, like, use one to distract, the other to attack. Or raptor tactics, even. So, it's great stuff, as far as, like, you gotta, even though it's terrible because it's warfare, you gotta admire, like, wow. That's crazy, the ingeniousness that we can come up with, even in warfare times, when it comes to strategy or whatever. And it's like, but that was kind of what they were known for. So I am glad to hear that they fixed that. So see, nowadays the Sherman's greatest enemy is a French or British Sherman. That's kind of ironic because of the mixed lobbies, right? Do I get to shoot at a firefly today? That's such a weird thing to think about. I forgot about that. That's true too. That is the weird thing with Americans when you're fighting like your British or French allies that are normally with you in the actual historic battles, along with like Russia and stuff. In some of them, you're like, wait a minute. Why are the French shooting at us? The hell? Why are the British shooting at us? What the hell's happening? He's like, but yeah, imagine. I forgot. Yeah, that means I could. There's a chance I could fight the what's called the Churchills and stuff. But if I have a more accurate gun now, then technically I'm okay with this because it gives me more play with the way the Sherman should fight. The only thing, like you said, it would be other Shermans that also can do this. Oh, guess you weren't around to see the 5.0 German prototype Panther or the American T1 Heavy. Also, America got their own Gepard in mid-Cold War. Ooh, that would be kind of nice. Means I probably don't have that, I imagine, just once again because I was so far back. I don't know. I might consider playing it again for a little bit at some point, just for the lulz and the enjoyment of the nostalgia. I won't probably hardcore it like I used to. It depends on how much everyone gets into what we're going to be playing. I know one game is going to be taking up my life as soon as it comes out. More than War Thunder could. Technically more than Battle Operations could, because Battle Operations, here's the thing about that game too. They've added some Gundams I would want to play. But the issue with this is it's still the same type of game. And I get the mechanics that are for it, but to me I'm just like, I think it's just it hasn't aged well, and its mechanics are too clunky for a multiplayer game, and it needs something similar. Not exact, maybe slightly slower, but faster than what it is now. Kind of like what Mecha Break is gonna do. It's like I don't know. It's like, especially since it's in a way a gotcha game because you have loot crates and you have to earn those loot crates. They do give you special seasons and certain things to roll, and they bring things back to try to earn certain types of mobile suits or Gundams you don't have easier. But for the mechanics and what you have to deal with multiplayer wise, especially if you don't have a squad, like the only people that really play that game with me is James. So I've only ever had really one major partner. I think Tam King tried it for a bit, but it's one of those games that it doesn't reward the feeling of even when you're just trying to help out or get assists or trying to defend a teammate because of the way the ganking works. It's like old Call of Duty made people feel, and it's with how slow it is, it favors too much of, unless you have a full team, you're never really going to fully enjoy the mechanics and what it's trying to be as a Gundam game, unless you're a full squad. And that's my one qualm with it. This is why I think a mechanic update and updating the way the sword fighting works, and like even if you keep most of it the same, like it's all about the speed and the reaction. I think it's kind of crazy to think that we're already up to, and I want to point out, I'm going to use an example of a Gundam that just came out. We're already up to basically Gundam F91, who is a Psycho Butterfly type Gundam. Do you know how fast he was? Do we really think he's just going to boost around and run out of boost even after a couple dodge rolls? This is why I'm like, it also kills the immersion of these aren't Gundams. Gundam, we've seen how these Gundams look in animes. This is, it's not, even the mobile suits are technically to me under changed for how powerful the mobile suits were in their universe. Like, even regular mobile suits. I mean, look at what Zaku 2s could do, and then look at what Char did with one of them. It's like, eh. I just feel like there's just too much like holding back for the sake of just the engine was just old at the time, and I think they just don't want to update the engine. But they make, here's the other issue, they make quite a bit of money from that game, because there's no way all these players are getting this in like one random world every time, who have all of these Gundams like a few days in. They probably paid to get a buttload of coins so they could roll the guarantees, which is quite expensive on some of those. Like, you have to add up. I added up one time. It's about average up to, it's about what you would pay for a tank in War Thunder, right? About $70 to $80 to guarantee it. So it's about the same price you would buy a premium vehicle in War Thunder. So essentially, I have technically spent the same amount of money on both those two games, at least when it comes to certain things. So, and if these games wanted to make these things actually feel rewarding, they would have to make the game's gameplay way better, or make certain things, which is not War Thunder. We're talking about battle operations in this case. War Thunder, at least gameplay wise, to a certain extent, even if some things we don't like are it is to a certain extent has to be that way, or it becomes the opposite. Or and the Tiger is the perfect example of why people get mad at the Tiger. But the issue with it is if they take it down to 6.5 to 6, with the way the tier, and one could argue, well, then change the way the tiering system works. Well, yes, but and this is a double-edged sword. I'm not defending them in too hard, because realistically, I do think Gaijin's made enough money as well that they should give us some handouts here and there in some cases, and actually spend that money they've earned to update certain changes. I will say that before I say this, but um, the issue is if you let's say you wanted to down tier the Tiger to 6.5 to 6.0, 5.7, or even lower. The issue becomes with that game is now the people at lower tiers, when it decides to down tier this Tiger, because it can down tier or up tier 2 tiers. People forget this. So this means it can down tier from a, let's say, we'll just use 6.5 as the base example. This means it can down tier to a 4.5. Imagine trying to shoot a Tiger with a 4.5. You'll be like a tic tac to it. And that produces these toxic type kind of blade styles and mannerisms and teamwork, and people don't trust each other because they just want to be the apex and abuse the system. And that's why it's at where it is, because even though it may get up tier, they get absolutely slammed. The lowest it can go now is now 4.7 to a 5.0. Most of that can still kill it if they ain't hit the right spot, no matter what, or just cheek them. And it's like, it's it's a double-edged sword. So it's like they at least have a chance to kill it at that down tier. Whereas if you lower it any, and I know probably a lot of jurors are like, but the Tiger, and yeah, but we're not basing this on when it was created. If we do that, it'll overpower too much. Only the Shermans and the stuff like that will be actually able to kill it. The other tanks will be absolutely useless. So it's like it's not fair to gameplay, and since it's a video game, gameplay comes first. So in their fairness, I do see why they do that. Now, if they change the tiering system to be no lower than one tier down, like from 6.5 to 5.5, then that's a different situation. Then it should definitely be 6.5 to 6.0, because the lowest it'll ever be will be 5.0. But then they would have to update the server, change the way the tiering system works, and then this would also change tiering on the high scale too. Meaning this would mean it might make some odd, because there's also gaps in, but here's the other issue this would create. There's gaps in certain tech trees on certain factions in countries that would create such a gap that some of their vehicles wouldn't be available to them at the time they would need them, creating an issue because their tiering would be different. Because some jump from like 5.0 up to like 6.7, 7.0. What are you supposed to do if you're stuck at so let's say you're at a 5.5 you're at a 5.5 situation where everything else is 5.5 at that tier. This is just a rough example, that's not exact. But you have two of your major takes are jumped up to a 7 from 5.0. Or no, from like a 4.5 or something like that. I want to lower it to show the example, because there are ones that are like this. You literally do not have access to two of your tanks now. You would have to wait till you jump up to the 7s forever doing that. So now you're only working with half the tank. So you only have basically 2 lives. Just as a rough example out of 4 tanks. It's a teeter-totter of dangerous proportions, that it's one of those things that I do have some things that I think that they do agree, and I do agree with, that maybe right now, unless they wanted to make buttloads of different changes to different roles, tiers, because if they were going to do that, then they would also have to up tier or down tier certain vehicles to make them not lose those vehicles in certain situations. So they have to change the entire tech tree. This is where this leads to. Then I doubt they want to do that. And that's probably less about a money thing and more about, dear God, the workload. So, and it's one of those things, does War Thunder really need it? No, because there's other ways around it that they could finagle if they really thought about it. I'm like bullet changes, things like that. That would make the Tiger, it wouldn't have survivability, but enough hitting power using certain ammunition types and ways they could do ammunition dynamics that it could still at least have a chance to kill like an IS or whatever when it gets up tiered. So then there's no weird deprivation issue that happens to certain tanks. And then as far as Gundam's concerned, I need to read what first you said first here. Israel Power German is still 6.0. It still renders every heavy tank obsolete. That's true. Well, I don't know about. To be fair, I don't know. I've seen a lot. I've seen that tank, and I've watched a couple videos on it. It is really overpowered. I'm not even gonna lie, but I guess my issue with that is, from what I've seen, even when I was doing matches back in the day, and this is using examples of like other overpowered vehicles at certain tiers, like certain Pershings, things like that. I still think there's a certain dynamic where it's more about just knowing what to shoot at. And this is something I learned in my later years of War Thunder. Now, this is something you can't avoid, and this is why I don't. Me and Tam King and Lamito played a game last night that kind of touched that old chord of mate. This is why it reminded me kind of why I don't technically play certain games, like, or at least not a bunch at a time when it comes to competitive. Because here's the major issue at the end of the day: whether the game's good or bad. In most cases, the game is in the middle in some, but it's like, but that doesn't really matter compared to what I'm about to say. With the issue that comes in at the end of the really day, using War Thunder's tactics and what technically you are supposed to play that game like, this has always been my biggest argument with War Thunder. It's not necessarily the mechanics or even something they're doing wrong totally. It's I don't think that they breed or produce the right culture of trying to influence players' understanding. It's not meant to be played like a run and gun. It's actually meant to be played like a MOBA if you really technically think about it, because you know what MOBA technically stands for? And I know most people, when they hear MOBA, they think League, like League of Legends. Yes, that is a MOBA, but if you break down the acronym, what it actually is, technically War Thunder is also a MOBA. And you're like, wait, what? Well, it stands for Massive Online Battle Arena. Tell me, what do you think War Thunder is? And that's the issue there, is technically Call of Duty is not that. Call of Duty or a lot of those old shooters that people played the War Thunder like were action shooters, action adventure, FPS, multiplayer, competitive games, which have a super accelerated, on purpose feel and style of play, because they don't, the type of community they're suiting, that they don't want long matches. They want matches that are barely 15 minutes to 10 minutes long to 20 minutes at best. Because they know people are going to either run and gun, get each other killed, camp and get shot when someone comes around, or camp until they kill everybody. And at the most, that's going to take 15 to 20 minutes. With how many, depending on how many rounds a match has. Whereas something like War Thunder is actually supposed to be akin something closer to League. It's all about team organization. It's all about knowing what you don't want to shoot at, what you do want to shoot at. And if you do have to shoot at that, make sure you're waiting, unless you're the one who has to distract it. And sometimes you have to accept that too. You have to wait till it's, let's say you're not the distraction in some weaker tanks cases where they ain't gonna win in most fights against that, right? Straight up, it's just gonna kill it. You have to wait till one of your bigger allies distracts, hope that he's smart enough to do this, then pull in the tactic of coming up where you can get into a minimal range of doing at least some effectiveness, and just pelt him from the side or wherever dynamic spot you can get that will do some actual damage, knowing what type of tank you're fighting. Once again, you saw how much you have. That's a lot. So, but the issue with is, that's the type of community that would have probably played War Thunder a little bit more, if sadly, in my opinion, slightly they push somewhat more of a Call of Duty type, even with the game's mechanics kind of not supporting this. And I'm not saying they're doing that hardcore or on purpose necessarily. It's just, I think it's just lack of, they just don't understand that that's the type that naturally graduates towards any shooter. This is why I play realistic, because more realistic players are more likely to do this. Now, this isn't guaranteed by any means, but realistic teams are at least somewhat, as long as you kind of pay attention to your surroundings and see what your team is doing in realistic. I don't play simulator. That's cool and all, and I do like the way simulator plays for tank. But my issue is I only play that just to have pure control over when I want the moment to feel like that there's actual control over the battlefield, and everyone else is, having to do as many steps as I am. Because the simulator, it's a different beast. You're only going to have certain types playing that anyways, just because of how complicated it is. So, especially on console, when you have to assign your own buttons, figure out what this is, figure out what that is, things like that. So, but as far as, that's why I used to only play realistic, just because it's a good middle ground. It doesn't give you aiming help. You have to kind of figure it out yourself a little bit. Know your aiming, know your distancing. You still have to assign your button yourself if you're on console for range finding and stuff, so you have to know that and then kind of know how to read that on your little scope. How to do. Know your cannon type. What type of nose do you have? How long is your barrel? Because that will determine how far your bullet will go before the drop incurs at different levels of extremity. Like I said, can you tell how long I played? But that's kind of why I think, to me, that's where a lot of War Thunder's dissatisfaction. It's not about these tanks being overpowered, even if they slightly are by numbers. Like I will say, by numbers, the one you mentioned is slightly a little too strong by what can be broken down from videos and what people have talked about it. But overall, I still think the things I have seen, just people playing and experiencing this tank, part of me is like, it also is slightly player error. This is why I miss playing, because there is certain times where I think I do miss, because when I was getting really good, there were just, I'd get a lot of kills just because people play one way. They like to rush, they like to do stupid things. So against an actual simulative player, where I somewhat play halfway simulator mode type mentality, I tend to do really well as long as my team isn't doing the same thing and kind of pushing with my team and abusing this a little bit. So, even if they're in an overpowered tank. Now, there are some maps that are just also kind of bad. I've always had a little, as a level designer myself, there are a couple maps in the War Thunder that I'm like, you're promoting too much of that on that one map. But luckily, they're few and far between. And even on those maps, if you somewhat understand the instincts of how to fight players who like to do certain strategies, you can abuse it then too. You just have to do it a different way. So. Heck, you can even drop in the early IS2 in T-3485, or we can lower the Super Sherman as well. See every nation can play this game. What about the Bradley prototype in 6.7? That is an absolute rat to deal with in an IS2 from experience. I mean, yeah, that's true. I'll give you that. That is a really scary thing to have to fight with an IS2. But see, that's almost an up tier in that case, right? The IS2 is being up tiered to fight that thing in a way. I'm trying to think of. Like I said, there are a few numbers out there. Like I said, there are a couple tanks. Number wise on the board, they do have a little bit of too much weight. But I guess the offset is it doesn't have the survivability as much. So you still can kill it. But it can also kill you real fast if you don't notice it. That's my same issue I had. Remember that? What was that Italian vehicle? That fast mover I hated when I played as Germany or America? It was really overpowered. It was an Italian, like, little fast moving light vehicle that its gun was so good. This thing could hide like midways to across the map and pop a Sherman or something. I can't remember what I was in when I was fighting it. It was either Germany it was killing all the time, or it was killing some of my American play. I I legit do not remember. Do you remember what it was? Let's see, of course, give that motherfucker higher speed and yeah, it has fin sabo rounds. That's why it kills people so easily. It's all in principle. If you take away all the names and the guns and all this, it's got the same problem, or causes the same. Not hold on, it doesn't have the problem. It causes the problem. It causes the same problem as that one I just mentioned. I can't remember the name of it. The R3, yeah. And this Bradley is, yeah. So it's the same principle as the R3. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, that nightmare. But that sounds like the same issue. But I think what it plays into, but here's the issue. You know why it's killing you? I'm coming back to the same multiplayer problem that all games have. It's because your teammates didn't shoot it. They literally let it run past them. Not probably didn't even notice it. Probably most cases. This is what the mentality of most players kind of are. Because we got to remember, you and I, Farseer, Tam King, even James, Darius, with the games that he plays all the time. We're hardcore gamers. We play the game. We try. We do our darndest. We fight. We use actual strategies. We learn to like what the game is supposed to do, and actually try to play the game. Most people, it's press button, shoot, look. If I didn't see it, it didn't exist. Kind of situation is what most players do treat strategy or paying attention to their surrounding. Also, scope vision is what I call it. Always looking down their scope, never in third person, thinking that they need their scope on at all times, ready to shoot. Because here's the thing. Here's why you know that's a noob. You know why that's a noob in War Thunder? Because if you are not good enough at waiting till you see a tank going out in your range of sight or kill box as it's called, and then switch to your scope, range find, and then find it, shoot it while moving, or if it stops, shoot it wherever it is. Yeah, see, that's a newbie, is what that is. So, but that's what, or I guess you could say NSA's average tanker in most cases. They're not going to do all that. This is why they don't see shit around them that sneaks up because they don't have a big enough angle to see that it's coming. They're trying to play into the hardcore fact because you can look or you can use your go into like scope mode and look all around you with your binoculars and see if there's enemies around you as well. It's faster to use your binocs to look around you and see if people are encroaching on you or once again go into command hatch mode. There's all kinds of things that you could do that will let you see what's happening around you versus, oh, I'm just looking one direction. Because even in first person, when you're not in scope mode, you still see more in first person, FOV wise, than you do in scope. So silly. Funnily enough, Darius has that in his 10.3 lineup, and it can still kill tanks up there. Dies faster, but it's well, yeah, because players he can. I mean, and this is something that's terrible. It's a double-edged sword because here's the thing that we have to. You like any hardcore gamer has to come like you and I would also you do that, right? We technically would do that too because players don't think. This is why I got so good at War Thunder because I learned how players played, and I went, okay, sure, fine, you want to play like that? Then I'm going to play what the opposite strategy that would always guarantee me a win against you, or at least kills. This is why I used to do so good at certain tanks. If you give me a Panther at a certain tier, like that's why I gave up on the Tiger and was like, the Tiger's fun if you. I actually kind of this is what I treat the Tiger like now, even though she still might die. I treat the Tiger like mid-range artillery now. I do not treat her like an MBT. She won't survive unless I get down tiered. If I get down tiered from where she sits, then okay, this means now she can kind of behave more like an MBT because there's less out there that can just one bop her, just not even try it, even if I'm angling. So that's when I'll treat her like an MBT in those situations. But in most cases, I treat her mid-range artillery now because she does have an 88, so she can, in the right scenarios, be pretty nasty if you know where to be and not to be too aggressive. You don't want to be aggressive in a tiger. I've seen so many tigers push in. I'm like, see you later, Brad, and they die in the next few seconds after I say that. And the reason why is you're not fast enough. Tigers are decent speed, but they're still not fast enough to push out there with the way because they're square boxes and they don't have enough angles to take those chances. You're gonna get killed. So you only take those risks in a panther. so so silly. But this is just examples of World War II. Modern is different, but modern is so much that plays into that it comes to different tactics, different behaviors, knowing what your equipment is, what it can do. Player behavior never changes. You always use player behavior to base what your strategy is on. But other than that, um, it's ironic because part of me does want to. It's just I hate the grind for not paying into the game, man. And I can't pay for anything next month, so it would be full free to play. So that's why we wouldn't really be playing it. I don't know if we'd stream it either. If I had nothing else to stream, I might stream something like that again one day. But really, most of the time when don't have nothing to stream, I either am going to resort to whatever the main game is if I feel like it, or some sort of like side game on PC, like BTA board games, things like that. Usually that's where I go now because that's kind of my new comfort zone of just playing games if we're going to stream something that I just didn't have planned or didn't really feel have the energy to do. Like we're doing Age of Mythology today, which clearly notifications didn't fully go out. We've got people, I think, some joining, which by the way, welcome in the background. But yeah, because Champ King was on, and I know it's like we started early enough, so I do know notifications must not have went out properly. I know when you got yours 10 minutes late, so that's not a great sign, right? So this means we're probably only going to do 1 to 2 missions a day, depending on how long this next mission is. I judge them based on the speed. Like if it's just one of those missions where we're running around with an army, like doing the stealth thing like we did in the underworld and we're getting infinite units, those are pretty fast, so we'll probably do 2 in that case. But if it's something we actually build up and build a city and attack, since I don't remember all of the speedrun tactics until after I play the map and start it, I'm not trying to go for those on these runs. So we'll just, if it's a bigger building map and we end up building, I'll look for what I should have done while I'm doing this, but we'll go with the let's just blob up and hit it kind of strategy. And that'll probably be only like 1 mission if we do it. Which I think we have been doing talking this for long enough. That's also why I was chilling and chatting, because I wanted to give everyone a chance to join. But now it's time to focus on saving the sands from the false Lord Set. He will not take the kingdom from Osiris. I will stop him. Along with also stopping Gargarinus and who he's truly working for. Because he has nothing to do with any of this. Gagarinus does not work for. He says Poseidon, but there's something that we're not being told, that he's not being told, not realizing that he's not following Poseidon, he's following someone else. Which you will find out soon who that is. And that'll be also the crux of what would be technically Age of Mythology 2, which is in this game. Which is this story down here, the New Atlantis. But let's see. Okay. Standard good advice. This is where you're probably going to find out what's really happening because the gods probably have figured it out. This is why you notice Arcantos doesn't understand why Poseidon is not answering him. It's not that Poseidon isn't answering him, it's that Poseidon is down right now. Poseidon is in trouble. That's why Zeus answered him as soon as he asked for help, realizing this is the son of Poseidon trying to fight what is causing the issues. Oh, because this. Hold on. Oh, dang. I hate sneezing sometimes. My allergies. My bad, Jack. All right. So what's basically comes from the older cartoony days of Greek mythology and all that, and mythology of any kind, where there's good guys and bad guys, and the gods are technically the good guys, the titans are technically the bad guys, like the kind of boo-ha-ha situation. Like in this situation, Zeus is a good guy, great guy, but we all know in real life, this seems a bit off. At least as far as what we really know, like certain lores and things like that. But basically, they're painted as the super good side. But basically, Atlantis is under siege. Poseidon is in trouble, and his people are being attacked by Gargarinus and who he's serving. and what that's causing, and that's where we are right now. That's why we ended up in Egypt, because basically, according to this game's lore, Zeus basically brought us here to find allies in the other gods, because this fight is actually going not just one pantheon. All of the titans of each of the pantheons are essentially in the background, or the evil gods, like Set in this example for Egypt, are basically been told they get an advantage out of this and get something out of the deal of trying to help certain things play out. So let us do this. Let me read chat one last time here, or before we start. Then I'll read in between certain things. It's gonna be hard to read chat during a mission, but I will try to read chat as in between what certain things happening. Let me explain what happens. Let me read this first. Let me explain what happens when you encounter the prototype Bradley. It's like find a good sniping spot, find targets to shoot, get my tracks erased, and cannon, and see the dude that did it. I mean, that makes sense. He can't kill you from that range. I think that's kind of silly he's using it that range. I do think that you would hate me worse than a Bradley, because I'm not going to play it like that. I'm going to play it like it's supposed to be, and I'm going to get in range where that gun's actually going to do more than kill your tracks. I'm going to pick you apart until I get through the armor and then blow you up using your ammo. Which you probably can still do that at long range, but it probably takes a lot longer in most cases. This is why, technically, to me, the R3 is still scarier. Because the R3s are played like this. Most people play R3s like that in general. This is why they're so ballsy stupid. Because people don't kill them when they see them. They think, oh, it's just an R3. Yeah, but if he gets behind us, we're all dead. It's because good R3 players are trolling. If they can't kill you, they will do what Darius does, or what the Bradley's doing, or from range. Then he'll come back to you after he kills the targets he can kill. And then he'll come up and disable you again in some way, cannon or something. And then he'll point blank you wherever your ammo is. This way, because he know he'll pin if he gets that close. But you can't do anything about it. This is why I tell some of the bigger tanks who deal with it, don't neglect your machine gun. Because at that range, even though he's going to try to kill you, that machine gun does have a good chance to pin and kill the gunner if you shoot at the turret with the machine gun. So, once again, these are all things you learn through death a few times, but the team side effect from it will never be solved unless you have people playing with you. Like, that's why most of the time I never not played with James or someone else or whatever, because it's on your own. That game is okay. That's why, like, because I'm in the mood for it, I might enjoy playing some US even if I'm dying right now, just to kind of get my mind off of it for a little bit and just not care about the game itself, but just be playing it to be playing it. And it's like, because I know I'm decent enough that I will get kills here and there as my instincts kick in on certain tanks I know that are just cannon fodder to my Sherman, even with a 75, not a 76. And it's like, so. Plus, I think I do have one of the heavy Shermans, one of the big boys that are really hard to kill. Can't remember which version. Rhino? I can't remember. Not at long range, or not. They take out my gun in tracks before killing me. I mean, yeah, but it would still take longer depending on where you're in. They wouldn't be able to kill you from far range as easy, but I mean, yeah, if they're getting in range of you and then killing your tracks and then killing your cannon and then killing you, like if they're doing the scout perspective, then okay. Then they're technically doing what they should be doing in that situation with a Bradley being completely ignored by clearly your whole team. Because if it's gotten that ability to do that, with the fact that the Bradley's a one-shot by most modern MBTs, or even low rank ones. Hell, even most Cold Wars probably can kill it if it's a main cannon tank. It's just your team ignored him. They decided, you see that guy over there? I don't see that guy over there. That's what it is. It's like I said, R3. It's just the same reason why the R3s get to do this. Because I'd be willing to bet, even in some cases, that he did get seen by someone, and they were like, it's just a Bradley. But that's just the way it is. Like I said, it's not that. You just have to understand that, and just it'll help. It helps with the enjoyment of the game, because you have to realize, sometimes teammates are just gonna let you down, and you're gonna die in that case. It's a multiplayer game. It comes with the territory. That's why I only play a few at a time that interest me, just because their gameplay is fun. Because multiplayer is fun, but That's why Rivals is my main go-to if I do play really hardcore multiplayer. Oh, hold on 1 second, chat. Let me check on something real quick. Alright, I'm back. The British Fox is the new R3, by the way. Oh, that sounds fun. I'll have to be on the lookout for it. I won't know totally, but I can't remember what it looks like. But that's if I decide to play it tonight for some reason. I don't know. Most likely I'll be playing this beta that me and Tam King got, and we're gonna try it out tonight. So this is after I eat. So, but all right, let's do this mission, chat.
We are safe here for now. We will plan in the morning.
You have done well. Now I must prepare you for the rest of your journey. Zeus is all-powerful now, but it was not always so. Ages ago, the Titans ruled the universe under Kronos, and humanity suffered under their harsh rule.
Castor.
Follow me, Father.
Etymos esto. Malista. Volume. Malista.
Follow me, Father.
Pani. Malista. Volume.
You are not as other men, Father. You are favored by the gods. Get the relic to the temple!
Izvoli. Ne. Malista.
Nice.
Oro. Prošete.
Oh, well.
Prostagma.
I think we are gonna win. I was seeing if I should hit him with a bolt of lightning, but I think the statue's doing enough. Now, if we pulled him in the back, we'd hit him with 2 statues, but we're gonna win.
The trials you face strengthen you. Continue the journey before you, Father.
Defeat the Guardians of the Shrine just ahead. Okay, well, first let's heal.
Prošete.
It's gonna take a bit, but we need to heal. Yeah, it's the speed in the gun and the stabilizer. Yeah, it makes sense.
Etymos. Volume. Esto.
It's gonna take a second, but we need to heal. Says we need to defeat the Guardians, we need more health. Too bad it didn't give us a healing spell. We could use the Bolt of Lighting on them, though. Might just healing
Malista.
overall. Yeah.
Volume.
What is the go? Hold on. Okay, so that's that got rid of one of them. Hold on, let myself heal a little bit. I wish I could see what Arcantos' ability is. I'm actually not sure what it does. I think it inspires him in some sort of way, but I've never looked to see what his stats change. What the stats change to. Because that is a lot of them.
Procese.
He's both of these. Makes sense. Almost. We're gonna wait till 300 HP and then we'll go.
Malista.
Alright, close it out. Oh, we're back up.
Volume. Easily.
Oh, we have Ajax in them too. Ah. Oh, I see what that was supposed to do. Okay.
Esto. Volume.
Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades did battle with the Titans in a great war. Kronos and the Titans were imprisoned in Tartarus, the deepest part of the underworld. Zeus came to rule over all the heavens. Poseidon envies his brother's domain and wishes it for himself. Kronos knows this and tempts Poseidon with promises of power if he is released.
Poseidon? No.
I remember.
Yes. There are several places where one can enter Tartarus, but Zeus sealed them all with adamantine doors. These can only be opened by a mortal's hands. Gargarensis.
The gate. That's what we saw when we entered Erebus in Greece.
Yes. Gargarensis believes that if he helps the Titans return, Poseidon and Kronos will make him immortal as a reward.
Destroy this landslide to escape the underworld! Malista. Volume. Malista. Pani. Esto. Volume. Ne.
Wow.
Volume. Malista. Ne. Pani.
These are all our army, I guess. Alright, nice. Wow.
Enito.
Oh, is that who I think it is? Hold on.
That looks like Theris.
There
It's been
is.
a long time since you sent him to the underworld, Arcantos. Fighting old battles again?
Tayo. UIR. Tayo. UIR.
Oh shit.
Tayo. Are you refer? Tayo.
Save him. Save him.
UIR. Tayo. Are you refer? Are you refer?
father! We must escape!
You I air.
Your enemy lies across the sea, father. Your fleet awaits.
Whoa. Right, okay. So now you'll see
We've
something
got to
interesting.
establish a base on the far shore as quickly as possible. Etimos.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Έτοιμος.
Yeah, note who's with us. I wanted to bring him out of the boat. Interesting, isn't it,
Léger.
Chad?
Volume. Malista.
Is there any others out here? No.
Prosike.
Πρόσεχε.
Πρόσταγμα. Into you. Λέγε. En wedge.
Oh, is that ours? Oh, okay.
Into you. Έτοιμος.
Wow, okay. We gotta,
Prostagma.
like, do it this way.
Λέγε, πάμε.
Etimos. Ne. Bani.
Πες το, μάλιστα. Πρόσταγμα μούλουμε.
Alright, well, scouts down.
Λέγε. Esto.
Hayo.
Provide a small trickle of faith.
Ark.
Okay.
Etimos.
Myth units use their special
Bulume.
attacks more often. Okay.
Πρόσταγμα.
Alright.
Πρόσεχε.
First thing I want is a temple. I want it on the coast here.
Τέκτον.
So it can be protected.
Έστω.
Alright, you
Ναι.
guys go over here where you're out of the
Esto.
way.
Indio. Yuyer.
Actually,
Inegerek. Ark.
Etimo. Hani.
Proseke. Malista.
alright, let's get our army built here.
Πρόσεχε.
Replace that. And the navy
Gerrig.
is gonna become that one. Okay. Okay. Alright, and then you guys.
Έτοιμοι.
Well,
Ναι.
2 of you. Hold on, I need 2 of you.
Πρόσταγμα, βούλομαι.
Because I'm gonna keep 2 for building, the rest are gonna be
Λέγε,
assigned to
έστω.
resources.
Βούλομαι.
So you 2 are gonna be my builder squad. Okay, now let's get these guys doing
Μάλιστα.
stuff. I don't see no resources yet,
Βούλομαι.
so let's get our army over
Leje.
there.
Malista.
There we go.
Hani.
So wood, gold. Oh, there's one down there. Hold on.
Προσέχε. Λέγε.
Proseke.
I guess you can go get it, big guy.
Bani.
Ah, myth units cost less. Yeah, we definitely want that.
Ismaken.
Alright, just wanted to do that. Alright, so let's get these goats on that. Holy balls!
Proseke. Bulume. Malista.
They're attacking!
Destroy those siege weapons.
Anemian Rex. That's different.
Leje. Esto.
Πρόσεχε.
Okay, we need resources are moving.
Τέκτον.
Έτοιμος.
Etimos. Malista. Ne.
Holy crap, okay.
Έτοιμοι.
I wasn't expecting that.
Τέκτον.
Okay, now let's get some people. Let's get one person on wood on that. Here, target that tree. There we go. Now you.
Πρόσταγμα,
Oh, whoa, the Nemean Rex looks way different. I like the colors of the red ones. This must be the differences if you get Chronos and stuff.
λέγε.
I bet you when you're doing skirmish.
Πρόσταγμα,
You're gonna go help her.
μεταλλεύς. Λέγε.
We need food. That's what you need to do. All the goats need to come over and fatten up.
Πρόσεχε.
And we need to create a farm down here. We can put them at, like right here. Alright, not that. Granary. Like right there.
Τέκτον.
Πρόσεχε. Βούλουμε. Ναι. Esto.
There we go. Alright, I need to take this
Leje.
here. Evil Empire is used to plenty of god power. Okay. The plenty god power or whatever.
Ναι.
Thing that helps them get more
Malista.
food. They're trying to produce another army. Okay.
Λέγε. Τέκτον.
Go ahead and start a farm. Just get that food going. Okay. Now we can rely on these guys to build
Πρόσεχε.
all of our stuff. So we're gonna need a military academy barracks, like right
Τέκτον.
here. Train an army and destroy the enemy wonder. Yeah, so this is more like Age of Mythology 2 right now. This is a big thing you can do. It's also one of the winning conditions of it's also one of the winning conditions of one of the modes in skirmish. That's cool because it's Ajax fighting this. Because it's like a weird alternate perspective. Or yeah, all the people we normally can get are against us.
Έτοιμοι.
We need an archery range. I'm hoping that's against the
Tecton.
wall enough. Units can get by. Oh yeah, let me put this lion in here. Reset our military.
Πρόσταγμα.
There we go. Are there any upgrades we can get? No, it looks like most of the upgrades are already done. We're probably supposed to just build up an attack. Let's grab that. So here's what I want to do there, because we need a bunch. We need one person who's gonna take care of these goats. Let's do that now. Are these goats at full? Not quite yet, but I'll have this person sit here and wait for it. Alright, they'll wait there now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 6. Let's do 5 people. And that'll get our food up and running. Alright, while we're doing that,
Λέγε.
we need to build. What's next? Market would be nice, but we're not trading with anyone in this, so we technically need to spend the money and get a fortress right out the gate and defend ourselves. So right here. Because we're gonna need siege equipment. And since we're playing Greece right now, siege equipment is from the fortress. Or a form of Greece. They said they were at. Oh, yeah, I did see the Path of Exile. Yeah, 5 new ascensions, but a bunch of new support gems. More game. The Huntress is being added. New orbs made that my current wish worthless. Yeah, well, it's not worthless. It's just the issue is they took too long to change certain things, and I'm still gonna do it because it looks fun. We're gonna try a Huntress out, and we're gonna try out our Fire Witch as we redo her, and kind of fix her to where I want her to be as a demoness Fire Witch. But I guess my issue is I want to see what they did with equipment, because I know they added new uniques, a bunch of new stuff. I'm hoping it's enough to make up for the fact that the equipment felt really lackluster and kind of not important. Like, it felt really underwhelming. Like, the uniques felt really bad. Like, the uniques felt really, really bad. Alright, there's our farmers.
Πρόσεχε. Τέκτον.
Λέγε. Τέκτον. Πρόσεχε. Τέκτον. Έτοιμος. Τέκτον. Πρόσταγμα.
Πρόσταγμα.
Λέγε.
Oh, it's barely can't fit. It's probably because that tree's there. That'd have been great. Alright, then we'll have to go with this shape instead.
Τέκτον.
And that'll keep the food up and running. Alright, here's what I want to do now, real quick. I need to give them a tower to retreat to back here, since that's the way the alarm works. It needs to be like right here, so the gold people can get to it too, pretty quickly. And now I want 2 more people to be builders with this squad. And then we should be able to speed run the rest. Just because this doesn't seem like a too hard of a mission. We're not gonna go for too heavy expanse. We're gonna get one more tower up right here, and that should be enough to defend. We'll wait for them to attack again, which, speaking of something, let me go... What is this? Myth units go... Yeah, he wants me to just spam myth units. He wants me to overwhelm them with monsters. Is what he wants me to do, which is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get some siege and maybe a couple infantry if we really need them, but I don't even know if I'll do that. I think I may leave that here just to reduce defenses.
Malista.
So...
Ne.
It was Pandora's box. Oh, there's one over here too. Oh, ranged soldiers have more endpoints. Okay, we'll get some archers then. I built this, so might as well. Okay. First get that. Ah, no. No. Damn it. Complications. There we go. Always forget to select. There's a lot of relics around here. What? There's one up here too?
Prostagma. Fun.
Oh.
Etimos. Honey.
Yep.
Ne. Malista.
Horo.
Πρόσταγμα. Τέκτον.
I'll keep my buildings from being hit.
Πρόσεχε.
Okay.
Έστω. Honey.
Έτοιμος. Άστο.
Leje. Pani. Esto.
Oh, temple is full. Okay, we're gonna need another temple. Oh, hold on. Let me
Λέγε.
repair this
Μάλιστα.
first. And then we're gonna need a temple, another temple. We'll put it down here.
Τέκτον.
Because it'll be just for pure faith generation. Because I can assign some people to it if I want. Alright, looks like these sheep are probably... Yep, they're ready.
Πρόσταγμα. Βουφορβός.
Okay.
Λέγε.
Alright, next thing we're missing is Cav. We need a Cav building. We'll put it right here. Okay, so Kamos,
Prostagma.
deliver.
Prostagma. Pani. Ismake. Malista. Esto.
Oh,
Manispani.
oh.
Ne. Pani. Bulume. Ne. Bulume.
There's an extra
Malista.
settlement thing
Bulume.
up here.
Pani.
Oh, there's two
Ne.
up here. Okay, hold on. Alright,
Prostagma.
come up here, big guy.
Malista.
Proseke.
Increase villager movement speed. Okay, what is this one? Myth units, vulnerability to pierce it. Ooh, that one
Volume.
first. Let's get this one first.
Πρόσεχε.
You get this one.
Βούλουμε.
Etimos.
We're getting tons of relics.
Malista.
Έτοιμος. Έστω.
Okay.
Πρόσταγμα.
Build a squad. We're
Tecton.
increasing our range and our units, so we have two different areas. Alright, that means myth units are getting even tougher and harder to kill. That's good.
Πρόσεχε. Βούλουμε. Έστω. Μάλιστα.
Brings everybody back into the squad. Okay. They're building that. Now I need to get wood up and running, so we need more wood gatherers. Here's what I'll do. I'll just put them right here and assign them to wood. It makes it easier to do, so I can build like several at a time. Okay. So that's being done. You're almost finished with that. Okay. Guys, there's no need
Λέγε
to kill the deer
βούλομαι.
right now.
Μάλιστα.
Deliver what you've got. Okay.
Έστω.
Let's build like one tower up here. Just to
Τέκτον.
have some range and defense for this place. That's just there to get our population up, to be fair, though. Okay. We didn't get any yet, did we? Oh, we want, shafts of plague, so we get poisonous arrows. Let's do that. Okay. That's good. Now let's build a tower over here for the wood gatherers to run into.
Πρόσεχε. Δρυτόμος.
Πρόσταγμα. Δρυτόμος. Λέγε.
Clear cutting this area will also give us more room to build. Okay. Wood is going. Do we have wood upgrades? We don't. Let's go ahead and get those now. For both wood and gold. Okay.
Πρόσεχε.
You guys are taken care of. I didn't mean to do that. I think it's time for the market. Right
Τέκτον.
there. There we need to trade. We'll have a full little mini settlement to attack from. Well, it's faster than it was last time. We're doing pretty good now. We're getting pretty quick at getting things going. Coinage. Increase caravan speed. We're not really using caravans. Don't need that. Player sets tribute penalty to 0. Player adds 0.8, -8 to the market buy factor and adds 0.8 to the market sell factor. I'll do that because I think that still makes the market sell factor a little bit better. Okay.
Έτοιμη.
Now it's time to build some houses over here in the back.
Τέκτον.
Maximize our population while we're waiting. Okay. So next what we need is gold taken care of. So we need 2 more people for now. Because we've got plenty of gold coming in until we spend it.
Πρόσταγμα. Τέκτον.
Alright, 220 should be good. Back to... Oh, we don't have an armory. Shoot, we don't have an armory. Let's hide it out in the woods. We don't really need it to be closed anyways. It won't be attacked back there. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna need more faith.
Πρόσεχε. Τέκτον.
Oh, the Argo. I don't know if we're really gonna attack from the sea, so we'll just keep that as is. I just want it just in case we lose our ships. I think we're good other than securing the front. Let's get a little small wall going here.
Τέκτον.
To guarantee they can. Oh, here they come. Speaking of which,
Léger, honey.
Λέγε. Ναι.
oh, the wall got blocked,
Μάλιστα.
damn it. It's because we had to fight.
Πρόσεχε, ναι.
It must have got hit by a
Honey.
catapult.
Μάλιστα, honey.
Έτοιμοι. Τέκτον.
Nice, okay.
Πρόσταγμα.
We'll end up chopping that down, so let's go right
Tecton.
there. Okay. Set your waypoint here as well. We want all the waypoints set right here. Just to try to get, oh, we don't have a cab builder, right? That's alright. And just in case I ever need it, you're also need to be set up here. Oh no, there's cabs right there. Okay. So let's start with artillery bursts. I need faith, that's what we need to do. Okay. So real quick, let's assign 4 people to gather faith from the back temple in the back. Oh.
Λέγε. Βούλομαι. Ναι. Τέκτον.
I'm 100% adding those spectral knights to my minion legion. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I heard about that, the spectral knights. So basically, which tells me one of the ascensions must be the lich, right? Like the witch is now getting her like zombie super mode.
Έστω.
Is what I'm assuming one of the ascensions for the witch is now. I mean, it seems natural, right? That's what the case they probably decided to do. Just because they were adding so many ascensions. Plus, at least 2 of those ascensions is probably the huntress. Maybe 3, but
Τέκτον.
I guarantee you the witch was one of them. That's cool. Also, I can't wait to go to war with a rogue exile minion. which to see which sleeper build is the strongest. It is the Lich. Ah, okay.
Ναι,
Alright, we
μάλιστα.
are set. We got us a little protected zone here. They can technically come from up here. I guess I should take care of that.
Έτοιμοι.
Didn't really see that actually accidentally there. So then we want a wall like right there too. That'll protect his back entrance in this little settlement back here. Okay, and the resources are built up. That's what I was waiting on. So we can start spamming. Let's get a couple more worshippers on the temple. Because they're going to be spamming coal. 2 more. We're going to be spamming quite a lot of myth units. Compared to everything else. Okay, so. Good against ranged units and siege engines, which is what we need. So let's get that so they'll train faster. Let's make sure all of these are upgraded. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, shoot. That.
Wedge.
Oh, well, he's dead. Yeah, okay.
Into you.
So maybe we will need slightly a bit of a navy. We're good enough right now with what we've got. We don't want to waste too many people on it. And like population, so we don't wait. So we can have good ground units. That's the edge of the map. Okay. So as long as we protect right here. Should be fine. Okay. Alright. Okay.
Λέγε. Τέκτον.
Well, they're really determined. Yep, he's dead. That's alright. Let him. Some sheep here, I just realized. How's our sheep harvester? She's almost done with the sheep she has. Let's see if we can go
Έστω.
grab
Βούλομαι. Μάλιστα. Βούλομαι. Πρόσεχε.
I do want to
Έστω,
see,
ναι.
is there anything right here?
Έστω.
Oh, there's a little bit of something right there.
Βρυτόμος.
Ah, they have a fort right there. Okay.
Ναι.
I didn't mean to
Μάλιστα.
drop that tree down. I got mad at that tree accidentally. Okay, so it's actually not that far from us. It's literally just right there. Until it's meant to be faster. So I wonder if it's meant to be bigger than that. So you know what? We've got pre-prepped if we did. Alright, so let's fall back.
Βούλομαι.
We're gonna want to put a tower here just in case they go for this side.
Τέκτον.
Alright. Let us get this now. Beast Slayer. Artemis's blessing improves the combat abilities of your heroes against myth units. Okay, cool. What is that? Whoa, heavy Gestapos. Archer of Hades. Good against infantry and buildings. Benefits from range soldier improvement. Whoa. Yes, give me like... I want only these. Give me 10 of these. We'll build some more houses if necessary.
Πρόσταγμα. Ναι.
Drop that resources off, you crab. Let's build some houses up here. Yo, Tim King, welcome, welcome. Tim King, did you see the Bappa Exos through live stream? Oh, hold on. I gotta move my military
Leger.
over here for a second.
Malista. Ne.
I just realized what's gonna be an issue is these goats are in a weird spot. There we go. Come on this side. I actually should probably do this with all the goats that aren't dead. Hold on. All of you come over to this side. Where you will be harvested. It's almost harvesting season. There we go. Now I can move my military
Prostagma.
back over there.
Pani. Volume.
Just so we
Malista.
can get these units mixed in pretty quick.
Ne.
Nah. Alright, so we also... Oh, never mind.
Etimos.
We're under attack.
Malista.
Oh, they're going to
Yes.
the side. Come.
Nah.
This way.
Grosheshe. Pani. Malista. Ne.
We might have to attack this fortress. They're getting a little aggressive.
Pani.
Who is that?
Easily.
To be fair, we might have enough for what we've got now, to be fair.
Ne.
Alright, we weakened
Volume.
them some more. Let's
Ne.
go back in and
Ani.
get the rest of our units.
Volume. Malista.
Okay. Let me quickly do this. Oh, they got more coming, huh?
Prostag. Ne. Ismaken. Oro.
You know what? Frick it.
Esto.
This side did it. We built up defenses if we did it. We'll replace the losses if we have to, but
Ne.
break the gate down.
Pani. Volume. Malista. Carlos. Ismaken. Ne. Volume. Pani.
These archers of Hades are amazing. Or, yeah, it was archers of Hades, I think, or Ares 1. Oh! Statue! Oh, that thing is dangerous. Take that thing out.
Ne.
Fight the heroes!
Ne. Carlos. Oro. Easily. Pani. Esto. Oro. Easily. Volume. Malis. Ismaken.
So we could have come in from the sea as well and avoided a lot of that, but that's alright.
Ismaken. Easily. Pani. Carlos. Gary. Rochese. Oro. Carlos.
We might kill it.
Esto. Ne.
We'll crush their wonder to rubble.
Malis. Easily.
Well, hold on. Don't do that yet. Do this first. We make sure they're weakened beyond belief that they have to send troops very long distances if they come in. Yeah, because look, there's a settlement up here. I figured.
Esto.
Carlos.
Malis. Ne.
We lost a hero. Fight.
Malista. Ismaken.
Take all them all. Take them all out.
Esto.
Nothing survives.
Pani. Esto.
Alright, destroy the wonder. We have sent the message. We are victorious.
Zeus cannot interfere directly, or it will touch off a war amongst all the gods. That is why you are here. Make no mistake, if Kronos escapes, this will be Atlantis, and all you love will be lost.
Arcantos, are you all right?
Yes, just a bad dream.
Come, join us. It is time to plan our attack.
Let me make sure I understand. Osiris's pyramid guards another passage to the underworld?
Yes. If we can reunite the body of Osiris, he will live again.
We have one piece. There are 3 more which must be found and brought here.
We have to split up. Amonra, you, Chiron, and I will divide our forces and recover the other pieces. Ajax, you come with me.
Nice. Alright. Since we got a bit of a late start today, as much as I want to do more, I do think we want to leave it at that. Let's see. It was all one mission. We'll have to wait to this one, the Jackal Stronghold. Amon-Ra must recover the second Osiris piece from Kimset's Island Fortress. So this one will take a bit. This sounds like there's probably a speedrun tactic to it, like most levels, but I don't know it. I don't remember it. I don't remember all these levels. I instinctually remember them and kind of learn how to quickly do them as I play them, as quick as possible, but I don't remember the cheese wagon wheel strategies that you could do to beat it in like less than 10 minutes. Like I used to be a long time ago. I'd have to sit here and play each level and see what some of them were. Like, what was it? This one? Yeah. So it was the one that we were doing when we had to get the first Osiris piece out of that city, away from the pyramid. There's a strat that if you use Anubis completely from the very beginning and just don't worry about aging up, and you just get enough siege equipment to go with them, along with some archers or something to help them, and the heroes, of course, you can technically get that piece before it moves. And the reason why this is the Anubian warriors will engage the piece before it runs, because they can jump over the wall and start fighting and stuff. And so can technically Amon-Ra, so she'll jump in and support them in the beginning. Until the siege weapons, this is why you need to bring at least 2 or 3 catapults or something like that, will put a hole in the wall, and then the rest of the support units will run in and start fighting, and then you will gain control of the piece. After that, it's more about just picking and choosing a straight line to try not to fight as much as possible. Get to the exit gate, break it down with your siege, and then run out with the piece and win. That's how you would have done this mission in less than 10 minutes. But I don't remember all of those strategies. So, like that one was pretty easy just because it was straightforward. Like I could have just technically the strat to that one at the very end right there was just get a bunch of myth units and a couple siege units and straight push. You see how I didn't even need siege. I could have probably done that with the army I had in the beginning if I had just started spamming nothing and built nothing. There's some of these levels are deceiving. That it doesn't tell you straight up you can technically just get away with hardly anything and win because of how much it gave you from the get-go. Now this one, from what I remember, is even with the strategy, whatever it may be, is still a little bit of a slug through the mud, meaning it still takes a minute. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna save this for tomorrow because I'm gonna have a really early start tomorrow. So compared to today. So we'll save this and do a bunch of missions tomorrow if we can, back to back. We'll try to do all 3 missions because now it's going to be 3 back-to-back missions from different perspectives. Now that we split up to go get each piece of Osiris. So we're going to try to do all of that tomorrow if we can, and try to do it all in one sitting in one go. Otherwise, it's probably better to, because if I tried to push it today, I'll end up later, and I still haven't eaten yet, and I really don't want to wait late. This is why when I get started late, I don't tend to do as long of a stream now, so it just makes it easier that way. Let's see. Also, rogue exile AI opponents can attack you on the field. Oh, really? And what makes them dangerous is the fact that they can deal the same amount of damage and use the same passives as a player. Yeah, I saw some rogue exiles. I'm hoping the in-game improvements and new uniques are good. I hope they add a unique dress that adds in mood of spirit, which without turning me into a glass cannon. That is my biggest qualm with that game. It's the same thing Farseer just said before we go with Path of Exiles and its update. I really hope they listened and realized the equipment is the issue. It's the fact we're not having anything to work with or anything to work up to in-game to really kind of make us strong enough to start doing those crazy numbers so we can fight harder things like rogue exiles and raid bosses and things like that. That's kind of supposed to be the natural progression of a dungeon diving / rogue. Well, it's not a roguelike technically, unless you. Well, it is. I mean, I play on hardcore with your character. You can lose it, but still, mostly it's not a roguelike. So, like a dungeon diving action RPG, kind of has this natural progression that you're supposed to be able to loot and get stuff, and eventually become this crazy thing if you make it that far. It doesn't feel like that is being rewarded enough to a lot of the players. That's why I'm hoping these changes will make up for that. We're gonna be checking that out once I get back into it. I'm gonna wait till next month and see when I do it because I might have to push that back to the month after, depending on my budget for this next month. And what I'm gonna be having left over versus bills and other things I've got to take care of. So we might have to skip out on that until the month after. But if I do have enough, we'll be checking from 2 perspectives. We'll be looking at the Huntress and see what her playstyle is like and what her skill tree is going to be kind of playing into, where she starts and what kind of things you can kind of do with her and what her skills are, her weapon skills, all kinds of stuff, her ascensions. But we're also going to be going back to our Fire Witch and finish the game off completely and get into in-game and check out if in-game has improved any. And if they're going to start giving me uniques and equipment that seems worthwhile to actually pick up and make me want to continue beyond just beating the story. Or co-oping through the story with a new character. Like, that's at least fun. Like, the Huntress part of this what we're going to do with those streams is probably going to be the most fun part of it because it'll be before the end game. that part is pretty decent. They did a good job with at least feeling like the pacing of the game up till endgame. But endgame just feels empty, or it did. And I'm hoping that's changed. But we'll see. Don't know. You see, I don't want Tam King's evil twin to one-shot me. My butt with a witch hunter juiced plasma shot. That would be hilarious. Tam King, no, you shouldn't have said that. That's probably what it's gonna be. It's gonna be some random copy of Tam King's mercenary, and it's just gonna Gundam plasma cannon you out of existence, and then just it'll be terrible. Or it'll be my Fire Witch throwing thousands of fireballs across the screen. Also, if they're allowed to copy things like that, you know how annoying fighting those rogue exiles is gonna be, even with a good character. I am a little concerned about this. Because it is a little weird of a thing to give them that kind of ability to do that kind of damage in certain things. I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens. You see, a hardcore player is gonna cry when they get wrecked. And that's what I think it is. I think that's gonna be a problem. You see, you thought the same thing I did. And see, thank God I didn't do hardcore. Well, I would have lost her technically long ago, to be fair. But, my thing is, what are you supposed to do against that? What if it is copying a really scary build that's kind of slightly meta, or has got some really exploitative, crazy attacks? But like I do, like you've seen the amount of fireballs I can cover a screen in. If that AI can do that, what player chances that he can't dodge that? What's he gonna do against that? He'd have to hope he just happens to be fire resistant and he can survive it, hopefully. It's kind of the same. I'm not going to go too much into this topic, but it kind of reminds me of the same issue slightly WoW is creating, but in a different aspect. You probably get what I'm referencing. Because I do think that game is built now where it's just hardcore is just there's no point to it. Just don't do it. Just because it's not built for that. The game's meant to be harder, so it's kind of disrewarding you for being hardcore because you're just gonna beat your controller to death or smash your keyboard against a wall so many times, losing so many characters before you finally manage to just happen to be good enough to get through a run and start to understand the mechanics of the game. Which I guess is like, well, that makes me better. Technically, it doesn't. It just means you just naturally let instinct do what it would have already done. You just made yourself have to suffer more. So really, it just makes you a masochist, not better. It's like so. It's like it comes into that same principle that I think that's going to cause issues for a lot of hardcore players. It does feel like maybe we're leaning away from hardcore, just like WoW did. And it's like, good luck to the hardcore players if that's the case. It's like, because that's kind of why I didn't do it for that game. Because unlike Diablo, it's not about skill and position of your character. It's all about just the whambo bambo combo stats. So this can really get you killed in 10 seconds depending on the enemy, what kind of modifiers they have. So when the whambo happens, you can instantly go boop, 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 dead. And I've had this happen multiple times, even on base game, before even the end game. I even got to the end game. You know how many times it happened to me in that Mayan Aztec city? Those ice guys, especially to my Fire Witch, dear God. If it wasn't for I didn't do hardcore, she'd be dead. It's just there's too much trolly stuff in Path of Exiles for it, to me, in my opinion, to be considered playable on hardcore. It's the same reasoning what happened to WoW after a certain point. Diablo, you can get away with that, but that's because the game kind of suits this. It kind of promotes this. It knows not to be too overwhelming too soon unless you didn't build your build right. Which that's something you can do in Diablo, where I feel Path of Exiles gimped you a little too hard on being able to make your own custom build and make yourself into that freight train so you don't lose a hardcore character. Which is why, once again, kind of promotes it. It's not a it's not based in hardcore, and you'd probably be better off not playing it in hardcore. But yeah. Fighting Ardnot's Kratos Warriors, that will be hilarious. Because I'm not even done with that one yet, and that one's already broken. He's already starting to become really hilarious. I like the way he's probably one of the few warrior types. Like, none of the bosses can kill me. I've tried. I've let them try to kill me as long as they kill me. I've essentially created a pseudo version of my paladin, or what's it called, from Diablo 3. But it's a more aggressive Kratos version. It's all about that blood rage. If you kill them, you get all their gear. I'm afraid of fighting a blood witch if my minions give her blood. That's the thing too, right? It probably does. It's like blood witches would become extremely overpowered. Mine's not finished, but once again, she's already showing promise that she's way stronger than my demon fire witch ever was. Showing you that there are some leans, and it's because of equipment. It's because they did such a, in my opinion, somewhat halfway good, or half, I don't want to say half-ass, I don't want to be mean, but somewhat lazy way of doing equipment that certain classes got all the good shit, and certain classes have hardly any equipment that can make work using the passives. So it does feel like certain ones were way more favoritized and need to maybe, that needs to be curtailed, and there needs to be a lot more choice for the player to be able to make different builds with different things and still have it be effective. Or at least effective enough if they're synergizing with what they're going with efficiently. Because I do feel like my Fire Witch always fights uphill, where every time I play my Blood Witch on things that killed my Fire Witch, I absolutely wreck it. I rip it apart like it's nothing. And I'm like, and almost the equipment I picked up with my Fire Witch was for my Blood Witch. So it made her unbelievably overpowered all the way towards the end of the game. She will be. She's got equipment for almost every stage of the story. So I do think it's gonna be a little odd. We'll see. We'll see how things certain play out, and how it depends on how good the rogue exiles really are gonna be. So, is there gonna be a cap and a limit? I guess we're gonna find out on what they can do. But either way, infinite lightning sorceresses, yeah. Or, yeah, because that's like the fireball one, but that one's even worse to a certain extent, because that one stuns you. That one's going to be real annoying. The witches, I think, do have the strongest ability to be trolly as copied rogue exiles, just because a lot of their abilities are really, once they get cooking, yeah, good luck getting away from anything. You'll have to either kill her faster than she can kill you, or good luck. So, hope you can get close enough and do some damage if you're a melee. I don't know. We'll see, so we'll see. But I'm gonna end it here so I can get ready and chill for tonight. Start up a party if you want to join up, Tam King, if you want to join in the party. I've still got to eat, but I'm gonna go check in on that and see what I've got leftovers. I think I can just warm up, so just gonna do that, make it easy, and eat some food. But I'm gonna go ahead and start the party if you want to join up. But I'll leave it here for now. We're gonna continue this tomorrow earlier. It will be a lot earlier. I'm gonna say probably 12:30, like lunchtime. I'm gonna try to start around 12:30. Cause tomorrow's Sunday, right? Today's Saturday. Let me double check for I tell the boot. Yes. So okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So 12:30, around lunchtime, is when we're gonna start to do this, so we can try to get a lot more missions done. Try to get all 3 pieces of Osiris, and reunite him so he can guard the Tartarus Gate in Egypt, so the Titans may never escape again. But anyway, big shout out to Tam King and my moderator Farseer and everyone watching in the background. Hope y'all enjoyed another episode, a little quick episode of Age of Mythology Retold as we continue our campaign. And I hope to see you all early tomorrow during lunchtime, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S., whatever that is for all of y'all out there. that is when we will be picking it up. And as always, I'll start the stream, sit here for a little bit, give everyone time to join up. So don't feel bad if you don't get to join in the beginning. Also, always, I'll be posting up the video just in case you didn't get to make it. I hope y'all enjoyed, and thank you so much. And I will see you all soon. Bye, Farseer. Bye, Tim King. Bye, everybody. Bye.